There is another advanced command line parameter manipulation technique that I can show you. This one's a little more obscure than the other ones. This is all about using the IFS variable. So what's all that about? Well, when we set those command line parameters, like we saw in the last module using set minus minus, the parameters that we actually specify are separated by spaces and or tabs. And it's actually possible to change that. We don't have to have the parameters separated by spaces. We can have them separated by anything we want. We can use the IFS variable. IFS is short for internal field separator, to designate which characters we wish to use to separate the various command line parameters. For example, we could set IFS to be the vertical bar symbol, what you might call the pipe symbol. And then, if you wanted to use set minus minus to set command line parameters, you would do it like this. Set minus minus, and then parameter 1, pipe parameter 2, pipe parameter 3. Now notice here that the space between the word parameter and the 1, and between the next parameter and the 2, and so on, is actually now no kind of special character at all. The special character is now the pipe symbol, and so $1 will get set to parameter space 1, and $2 will get set to parameter space 2, and so on. Let's have a look at a more practical example using IFS. This is a similar example to one that we saw a little earlier, where we say if there are no parameters on the command line, then we set them ourselves, and then we just simply echo out some of those parameters. Now what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to get the command line parameters from the etc password file. So the first thing I'd like to do is actually run this command line and see what it looks like, grep mvirtue / etc password. So let's do that, grep mvirtue / etc / password, and it just gives me all of the details about my login account. Now we can see there each of the parameters, or each of the fields, I guess, of that database are separated from the next by a colon. So if I actually wanted to make those $1, $2, $3, $4, and so on, then I'd actually have to use the IFS variable to designate that the colon is the character used to separate one parameter from the next. And that is, as you can see, exactly what I'm doing, IFS equals colon. So $1 is going to be my username now, and $6 is going to be, well, theoretically, my home directory. Let's see if I can't make that run. Home directory for mvirtue is /home/mvirtue. Well, that's very nice. And just for good measure, I'll echo $* and run that. And the variables are mvirtue, then x, and 3040, and so on and so on. Notice that the colons have all gone. In their place are actual spaces, which I guess just proves that the IFS variable is doing its job. Okay, that's the end of this module. Let's move on.